Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Frankie, and if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an update. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I got my brows from this to this. I thought to myself, what better time to do an eyebrow tutorial than today. I freshly got my brows threaded a couple days ago, literally I'd say 48 hours ago. This brow, I don't know what's going on, I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I had to make the woman go over it again, so it's a bit like sparse. I naturally have very thick brows, so it's kind of a bit of a piss take that it looks like this, but not to worry, we will be fixing it with our handy dandy brow pencil. So what you want to do first is obviously make sure you brush your brows up in the shape that it grows in. Obviously I don't need to do too much because for me, like I said, they're freshly threaded, so they kind of already in shape. Next, you want to sharpen your eyebrow pencil, make sure it's nice and like sharp. And then you're going to obviously draw a line under here, start like right there. So you see how I'm like lightly going underneath the brow, like I'm not going like really harsh. Obviously when my brows are thicker and they've grown out, I end up drawing my brows in that motion because it's harder to follow the lines. But yeah, you don't want to go too out of the way of where your brows naturally start in terms of the growth. I know some people draw strokes going up, but I personally don't like doing that because it doesn't do me any justice. Like I have really thick brows as it is, so me doing upward strokes doesn't do anything. But yeah, just go a line on top and a line on bottom. I'm going to do both sides and then we'll go in with like actually filling in each brow properly. I just moved the angle much closer so you can see everything that's going on. We're just going to repeat the same action on the other eyebrow. So start right underneath where your brow naturally grows. So you see that line, yeah? And then you repeat the same directly above. You see, I didn't start necessarily where my hairs grow. I started here, there. Same with this, I started here. I haven't filled in that front bit because you're going to brush that out, so you don't need to do that. And then you just continue drawing the brow. So now you have two brows that are essentially drawn on but not filled in. Go over the inside portion of your eyebrow, make sure everything connects. Obviously you're at more of an advantage if your brows are freshly waxed or threaded. And there's no hairs that are falling underneath it. Obviously if you've got more hair that's like growing here, you might want to outline a bit lower, but if that's not the case, you just follow everything that I'm doing to a T. I've done like multiple eyebrow tutorials, but I've never done one for YouTube, so I thought I can't miss this moment. So now that everything is filled in, this is where we clean up with concealer. I personally like to use the LA Girl Pro concealer. This is in the shade Chestnut. I've been using this concealer for like literally 8 years. So we're just gonna squeeze a little bit out. This is my handy dandy brush. This is from Mange, I think that's how you pronounce this brand. It's an eyelash and eyebrow brush. And then this is what we're gonna use to clean up the brows. Just get a bit of product to there. And then go underneath. Just like that. Very lightly. Try not to get it inside the actual brow because then you're gonna have to probably start again. I know some people, when it comes to this step, like to use a really bright concealer, which is helpful, but I feel like for me, I've left that era of my life. Like this is not that bright. This is like my concealer shade that I use normally on my face. So a couple years ago I used to use like literally halo like white concealer to cover up my brows, and I looked a bit scary. I didn't notice it back then. Like I thought it was like, oh, this is cute, like 3D brows, but yeah, no, I don't do that. I would say maximum just use a shade 2 shades lighter than your actual skin tone, because you see I'm quite dark and you know the sun is out, I've been catching a tan, so this is like 2 shades lighter than me. Yeah, when you're carving out the top, you do it from where you last put the eyebrow pencil. So you see how earlier I was telling you I don't need to go all the way up here because I'm going to be rushing that out with this spoolie. So I'm starting my concealer where I left off, the last bit that I drew with the pencil. And all you're doing, you're just going along the shape of your brow like that. With this step, with the top half of your brow, I know some people only fill in the top with concealer and then leave the bottom, or they'll do vice versa. I like to do both, depending how I'm feeling. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to carve out the top and the bottom. Doesn't matter if my brows are done or not done. But I will say this, it's better to use your foundation colour at the top so that it blends in easier. So I hope this is making sense so far as I'm showing you. I'm just going to use a little bit more product on the other side now. This is actually in real time. This tutorial is in real time, y'all. So you guys should be grateful that I'm doing it as my brows are fresh, because right now my brows are looking immaculate. I need to be looking at the lens rather than myself, but I can't help but look at myself, you know? So yeah, repeating the same action, just, I hope you guys can see on this camera, there, and then you just go round off the brow. I feel like God blessed me with really good eyebrows because I've got such a high arch naturally, and I know some people have to like draw on that arch, or they don't have like a lot of tailbone. To be fair, this lady has kind of messed up this brow, so it's giving that I don't have tailbone, but I do. But yeah, I know some people, they have to draw that on. But to be honest, when you think about it, those that draw on their brows like completely from scratch, like I'm talking barely any tailbone, barely an arch, you just have the front few hairs, you guys are like queens and goddesses, because it's like true art to be able to draw an entire brow from scratch, like literally Nara Smith style, you know what I mean? So kudos to you, like literally no shade when I say this, like genuinely kudos to you. But yeah, this is what it's giving right now. I feel like if you're gonna drag anything out, drag the bottom bit, because the closer your brows look, the easier like the contour application will be once you get to that step of your makeup. So yeah, now this is the point where you go in with this beauty and you just brush the front few hairs. I end up having to go over this step a couple times normally when my brows aren't freshly done, because I end up like messing up the design of my brow that I've just filled in, which is quite irritating. So you just lightly go back and forth. I kind of like lift the hairs to go upwards, because that's the way my brows grow, so that I don't actually necessarily need to now draw fake hair and put pencil where there doesn't need to be, because my natural hairs stand up anyway. I don't need to draw that on. Just put a little bit more concealer directly at the bottom and a little bit more at the top, like this. It's going good so far. Just brush more into the eyebrow. Now it's time to blend. This is literally like, this brush is tired, like I definitely need to wash it because it's very dirty. But yeah, this is the brush that I use to blend the top and bottom of my brows. I do have a brush that's like this flat but in a smaller form. I just don't know where it is, so I always use this. But the smaller brush the better, in my opinion. I'm just lucky I have a lot of like brow bone space. I wouldn't say the same for my eyelid though, because my eyelid is quite hooded. But yeah, we're not doing eyeshadow, so we don't need to worry about that anyway. But yeah, just tapping underneath here. I'd say probably just bring it down onto the lid, just so that my lids look like there's makeup on it, because there's times where I don't drag the concealer all the way down to my lid and it's just looking like a ghost. Like there's makeup everywhere else but the lid, and it's like, what the hell's going on here? But yeah, and then obviously the middle bit as well. This is where we can correct any mistakes that we may see once blending. Obviously the top I don't do too much because I'm obviously going to put foundation up there. It's more the sides and like the bottom that is my greatest concern when it comes to blending the brow bone. And then up, I kind of want there to be a bit of concealer so you can actually see the shape It was so far so good. Like, I'm feeling these look great. It's doing what it needs to, you know what I mean? I can't speak English. It's doing what needs to be done. Let's just say that. It's definitely doing what needs to be done. This is the finished eyebrows, just to make sure that you have everything you need. One, a spoolie or any type of brush, a little bit of hairs in there. An angled brush to carve your brows out. Obviously your eyebrow pencil or eyebrow pomade. I use a dark eyebrow pencil that I got from my local beauty supply store. A concealer 2 shades lighter than you. This is my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Chestnut. And a brush to obviously blend out the concealer once you've carved out your brows. So this is everything that I use. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. This is what it's giving. Just close up. So if you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to like and comment down below what makeup video you want to see next. I'm trying to incorporate more makeup videos as well as sit down chit chat advice videos, and of course my occasional vlogs for when I get up to something interesting. So thank you very, very much for watching this tutorial. Please share with some friends who might need some advice on how to draw their eyebrows, because I know the girls be struggling sometimes. But until next time, I'll see you again soon.